Welcome to this video. Today we are going to focus on myofascial release through self-massage for the upper body, particularly the upper back. Now this is such an important area to focus on because so many of us hold stress in our upper backs. As a psychologist and a yoga teacher, I know it's really important for us to open up across the front by releasing the muscles in the back so that we can breathe better, feel better in our bodies. Now, we're going to be doing this self massage with massage balls. If you have massage balls, great, but there's a variety of other things that you can use. First of all, we've got our tennis balls. We're going to be using 2 balls today. If you have a sock, you can place your tennis balls or any balls you have in a sock. That works great. If you have a peanut-shaped ball, 2 balls fused together, you can use that. You can also use pinky balls. Find these in the dollar store. Grab some of your dog balls. And then finally, if you actually have therapy balls, these are therapy balls. They come in a little mesh tote. That's what I'm going to use. They stay together nicely, but all those other balls work too. Now we're only going to be doing one position for the upper back. Again, that's where so many of us hold all of our tightness, but we'll be moving the arms around and the rest of our body around a bit to get to different types of release for that area. You may also want a block to vary your sensation a bit. If you're ready, place your balls on the ground and join me on the floor. Okay, so the placement of the balls is not exact. You can adjust based on where you need the massage. I would suggest putting the balls maybe down toward the bottom tips of your shoulder blade. If you need them higher, you can just roll your body up a little bit. I'm going to try to find a position. You may need to use your hands to help and perhaps move your hair out of the way. Okay, so I have a nice position here just at the bottom tips of my shoulder blades. That's causing a pretty strong stretch, pretty strong back bend. I'm going to roll myself down. You can see I'm just rolling toward the bottom of the mat so that the balls roll up. Now I'm more in the upper tips of my shoulder blades. I like that. That I can really feel is a tight spot. So that is where I'm going to work today. You pick the spot that is right for you. And when we get to this first spot, we don't do anything. We simply stay still. Feel the effects of gravity sending our body down over the balls. Now, again, if the balls don't feel quite right, sometimes adjusting even just the littlest bit, moving your body a little down, a little up, a little left, a little right, can really help you find that ideal spot. Now the block is here because if this sensation is feeling pretty mild to you or not quite at the level of what you want for today, you can take the block on the flat position and slide it under the hip. So it goes somewhere right at the bottom of the tailbone so that your hips feel nice and supported. You can also use a blanket here. If this feels like a sensation you don't want or too much, take the block away. You can also replace the block with something lower or a blanket. A few more moments of simply feeling the blocks and breathing into the sensations that you're experiencing. Now, it's possible that you find that this stillness with your body over the balls is quite enough sensation for you, and that's completely fine. You can get a great release by lying here, not moving. Set a timer or just let yourself be for maybe 10 minutes, and that might feel just right for you for today. If you are wanting to do a little bit more exploration with me, we're basically going to be finding different positions for our arms and noticing how that affects the amount of pressure, the type of sensation or stretch that we're getting from the balls. So we'll start by taking both arms and reaching toward the ceiling. You might already notice some of those changes. As you reach more, so reaching your fingertips toward the ceiling, letting your shoulder blades pull apart a little bit on the back. This is called protraction. And then use your muscles of your shoulder blade, your scapula. Ooh, I really feel this to pull the scapula toward each other on your back. So you're placing more pressure on the balls that way. To me, that's a very much hurt so good feeling, not a painful feeling, but ooh, I really feel the massage. So you can do that a couple of times, reaching the fingertips away and then drawing your shoulder blades back together. And we're using 2 balls today. You can absolutely do this practice with 1 ball and do one side then the other. You might find that that concentrates the pressure a little bit more than you want. And I should note that any of the movements that we're doing today, if the floor pressure feels like too much, you can do them up against the wall. You put the balls right on the wall and then use your body to move along the balls. You can control how much pressure happens that way because you're not fighting with gravity. Okay, let's settle the arms here. Now you might explore if you've got something going on more on one side than the other, one arm at a time. And we're going to do that in a way by moving our arms back and forth or up and down. So we're going to take one arm overhead and the other arm down. Now take a moment here to notice the effects on each side. Notice what the side of the arm up feeling, the side of the arm down is feeling. And then we'll take them through center. Sometimes it's that little middle part that, ooh, there's some hurt so good massage. Again, go to the other side. Now my side facing you is my right side. I'm right-handed, so that's often the more sticky side for me. That may or may not be true for you. Come back through center. Any movement that we do with the arms, if it's feeling just right for you, you can stay with that movement without going on to the next exploration. Or as I mentioned earlier, at any point you can simply stay in stillness. So in this type of practice, both movement and stillness is welcome. Just stay with my arms overhead again. This time I'm going to make small circles as if my fingertips are drawing on the ceiling. I'm laughing because, again, that right side, it tells me that this ball work was much needed today. So perfect day to do this because my right side is really talking to me. And then take those circles in the other direction. So we're actually stressing the tissues with the balls. Stressing the tissues is what we do when we do like a bicep curl. We're exercising, putting some load on the tissues. It's a good thing for our tissues. I'm going to go back the first direction and maybe explore a little bit wider circles this time. And as I noted, sometimes the sensations might be kind of a hurt so good feeling. Like when you get a massage and you have that deep pressure, it's like, you really feel it. But if you ever experience any pain that is more like a sharp pain, a stinging sensation, those are the kind of signals we do not want in our body and go in the other direction. So move away from anything that feels more localized and sharp in favor of the more expansive sensations that feel kind of more general, more diffuse in the area that you're addressing. Right, you can let your arms come by your side again. At any point, take a moment to notice how things feel. We'll try another one arm action. This time we're going to take one arm, start with whatever arm you want, reach up to the opposite diagonal as if you're grabbing your seatbelt in your car, and then gently take your arm across and go as if you're plugging the seatbelt in or down toward your opposite waist. You can try that movement a few times. And sometimes we might want to freeze frame if we get to a spot or, ooh, there's some sensation there, I want to stay. We might just freeze in that position, maybe make some just little movements, some wiggles so you can feel the sensation, the balls squirm around a bit. And then let's try that seatbelt on the other side. So reaching up with the second arm across the body as if you're grabbing that seatbelt overhead and then down to the opposite diagonal. And let's pause for a moment. Now, all these same movements you can do with the balls higher on the back, lower on the back. You might find that some work better depending on where you have the balls. Let's try a few bent arm movements. We'll start the same way, reaching the arms up overhead. This time, you can either clasp the hands together or keep them apart. We'll bend the arms, allowing the fingertips to go toward the floor behind us. They don't have to touch. The idea is your elbows are moving toward the ceiling now. And as always, you can make gentle movements. You could lift the elbows up and down a little bit. Let's repeat that movement a couple more times, going from straight to reaching behind the head. And maybe even holding for a moment with the hands behind the head. Again, hands can be together or apart. You could take the tiniest rocking of your body from side to side and see how that feels. The emphasis is on small and slow movements in this work. The slower you go, the more you have an opportunity to notice and observe. For example, as I rock here to the right, I notice, oh, that's a little spot. And then maybe I use my feet to kind of shimmy my body up and down over that little nagging spot where I really feel something. And then that's giving me such a delicious sensation right in that spot. All right, for another bent arm movement, this time we'll take the arms out to the side in kind of a cactus or a W position if you have your elbows closer. Place your elbows at the height that's comfortable. So they could be at shoulder width or shoulder height. They might be lower for you. And then you can play around with lifting your palms up, maybe going in the reverse direction, or maybe just staying with the palms up and doing a little bit of splashing water or sort of a queen's wave here. Again, any movement is welcome. Nothing is illegal. This gives a nice back bending sensation. So remember, we're focusing on opening the front with this work. Breathe into the upper chest. See if you can take the breath in bigger or deeper, finding more space. And then keeping arms in this position or straightening them out. I'm going to keep mine bent because of the wall there. We can do a few snow angels, bringing the arms or the elbows down to the sides and then letting them come back up. Remember to go really slow. And you might find that you appreciate a smaller range. So maybe just going like right here, that is where you feel something. So stay in that range if that's working for you today. And then pause. We take lots of pauses to notice the effects of our practice. Just like we move in different positions, we can also pause in different positions and notice how that's feeling. All right, take the arms down. Let's try one more little thing here. You might hear some scratching sounds as I jam against the microphone a little bit, but we'll try to minimize that. We're going to cross our arms over the body. Let's cross one arm over the other. You can decide which arm is on top. Giving yourself a little hug, a little bonus self-massage with your fingers, massaging areas along your arms or your back. Now this hug helps us to
let the shoulder blades come apart again that way. So again, that's the protraction of the shoulder blades. And from here, we'll take just a tiny rock from side to side. No need to go far. You probably discovered that already, that the sensation is right there available to you with the slightest bit of movement. Again, allow your breath to support you here, to be full. Then reach your arms wide. Notice which arm is on top and cross the arms the other way. And it might be pretty surprising to notice how different it feels with the other arm crossed on top. Again, you might feel more sensation on your dominant side, but that is not always true, especially if there's an injury. Another way that you use your body more on one side than the other. All right, come out for this last little thing. If you were on the block, we're going to take the block off. You can put that to the side. Feet are back on the floor, knees are bent. And this time we're just going to push into our feet to jiggle the body a little bit. So I don't know if you can see that movement. My body is moving up and down a little bit. This is a place where if you want to move yourself, scooch toward the foot end of the mat, I'm actually going to scooch a little down so that the balls roll just a bit higher and find that little scooch. Oh yeah, now I'm in the upper shoulders. Been in my trapezius area the whole time, but now I'm really on the very tops. And just that little bit of a wiggle. All right, then stop moving. And we are going to take the balls away. So roll to your side. I'm going to roll away from you just enough that you can reach behind you. Take both balls or your balls together in your sock or your sack, whatever you're using, apart. You may notice that your entire back feels like it's more melting into the floor. And then let's roll to one side and come up to seated. Find a comfortable seat for these last few moments. Feel how your upper back feels now. Maybe there's a little bit more release to your shoulders. Maybe you're feeling more openness in your chest. Take a full breath in, starting at the bottom, the abdomen, through the lungs, all the way up to the top tips of your lungs. And then let that breath out through the lungs, the rib cage area, the belly. I would love to hear what the effects of this ball work was for you. Please comment and let me know what movements most helped you. I'd also want to hear if you want more ball videos, tell me what you want to see. I respond to every comment. I'd be happy to offer that for you. Like this, share it, comment down below, and have an easeful rest of your day.